judging team coach at Sam Houston while in grad school. He now resides in Danbury, Texas with his wife Jessie, his son Connor, and daughter Cameron, and enjoys raising steers with his family and judging shows across the nation. Help me in welcoming Mr. Shane Jennings to the Colorado State Fair this evening. As we begin our market steer showmanship, would like to remind our market steer exhibitors that at the completion of the champion senior showmanship division, we will have a supreme and reserve supreme overall. That is new this year, so make sure if you are the grand and reserve junior, the grand and reserve intermediate, or the grand and reserve senior, that those 6 return for supreme and reserve supreme overall showman.
Well, good evening. It's certainly a pleasure to be in Colorado this evening, get a little break. As he said, I live in southern Texas, and it's about 15 miles north of, as a crow fly, from the Gulf of Mexico, where it's 100% humidity and about 110 degrees on a good August day. So spending the day with my son in Colorado is certainly a privilege, and I certainly appreciate the opportunity. If we get to start off with our junior showmanship, if it's indicative of what I get to sort through here in the near future, I'm certainly going to be challenged, because it's a good set. Give them a good round of applause, if you would, as we start. My wife and I judged quite a few shows back in Texas, and we always joke that showmanship's our least favorite thing to sort because it's the hardest. It's a thing that we would probably make the most kids mad, because some of them that don't win are certainly worthy of it, and so that's what makes it the most challenging. So there's a good group out here. I didn't pull anybody on this side but in any particular order. I just started to pull. We've got 4 individuals on this side, in my opinion, that rise to the top. They command the ring really well, have lots of authority with their cattle, especially for this age bracket. I've got 2 kids. One's 11 and one's 8. And so I know what it takes to get to these young people to this point. And so I appreciate the opportunity to work with them. There's a couple out here for me that set themselves apart in this particular division. I'll tell you who they are. The young lady right here in the pink that's third in spot, she's going to be your champion junior. Right here in second is going to be reserve. Give them a big round of applause.
Congratulations to our junior beef showman. Your grand champion junior beef showman at the 2022 Colorado State Fair is Tinley Becker. Congratulations. And your reserve champion junior beef showman at the Colorado State Fair is Emery Chamberlain. Congratulations. Third is Stetson Gable. Fourth is Cruz Weber. Fifth is Gretchen Vermillion, and sixth is Braylon Lesky. Congratulations to all of our junior beef showmen. A reminder to Tinley Becker and Emery Chamberlain, you will need to return following the selection of our champion and reserve senior for a grand and reserve supreme overall showman. Now entering the ring is our flight of intermediate beef showman. Now entering the ring is our flight of intermediate beef showman. Once again, if you have friends and family that are unable to attend the 2022 Colorado State Fair and would like to watch our market beef showmanship yet here this evening, Taylor Fort and his crew are live streaming the event. You can find it on Facebook, search Taylor Fort, or at taylor.a.fort. You can find it on YouTube, search Taylor Fort, and you will see the market beef showmanship. Or you can visit Taylor's website at taylorfort.com/live. We appreciate those guys for coming and live streaming the event for us this year. They've been here all weekend through all of our junior market shows and will continue to be so. So if you have friends and family unable to attend, the shows are being live streamed.
challenging group to work through, and as we move into this second division, this young lady that leads off for me, I thought she commanded the ring as soon as she come through the gate, and she hit me hard from that standpoint. She's one that's just really calm and collect and led the pack all the way around the ring, and just gets that thing stuck and parked in the spot and gets him looking the best that he possibly can look, and in a very smooth pattern, and that's kind of the style I like, and so that's kind of what sorts the top three, because I think all especially the top end of this heat is really good. Young lady that's going to be reserved, another one that gets this heifer parked and stuck. One that she gets her commanded there and led in there. You can tell they're working on it. You know, just one of those that came close between those two. For me, the young lady was a little more erect where she stood and presented herself. You know, that's just nitpicking things. Good pair of showmen. I'd take any of them any day of the week. Give them a round of applause on those top two. This young man worked his way up into the top trio, in my opinion, with this black and white steer, and he's one of those that, you know, I started talking through him and with him, and he kind of told me what some things that he thought he should correct on that steer. And to me, that's a big aspect of showmanship, is, you know, that knowing what the flaws of your cattle are and how we're going to show it out of them. He told me what it was, and he's been working this entire time to show it out of that steer, and that's what kind of worked his way up into the top three, in my opinion, with this one. But he does a great job with this steer, and I know he's going to have fun with him on tomorrow too. We get on down, the young lady that comes in fourth, very knowledgeable. You know, and I asked her what she liked and didn't like about her animal. I mean, she was, we stood there for a minute and had a discussion about that steer. I respect that. Again, that's what got her up in the top end of this heat. He didn't want to quite set for there at the end, and that's what got her pulled. All the kids that on down the ring, just cattle that's maybe one mistake or two on down, they do a great job presenting them. Give these intermediates a good round of applause as they exit.
Congratulations to our intermediate beef showman. Your champion intermediate beef showman is Ella Rogers. Congratulations. Your reserve champion intermediate beef showman is Piper Warren. Third is Case Chamberlain. Fourth is Reese Elwood. Fifth is James Mullins. And sixth is Trace Johnson. Congratulations to our top 6 intermediate beef showmen. Like to remind Ella and Piper to both plan on returning after the conclusion of our champion senior beef showman to compete for our Supreme and Reserve Supreme overall. Okay, entering the ring at this time will be flight number 1 of our senior beef showman. Entering the ring at this time is flight number 1 of our senior beef showman.
Give these first heat of senior exhibitors a good round of applause, if you would. I pulled 4 of them over on the rail, and we're going to excuse the others. You know, again, a good deep set, a showman out here. Maybe just had some struggles as we go through. The cattle just didn't want to cooperate. Maybe it just wasn't their day. But give them a good round of applause. They head back to the barn. Good set of showmen. Different day. Maya had a different result. But we're going to keep these 4, bring them back for the final heat.
Congratulations to our finalists from Heat 1. Tyler Thomas, Jake King, Shay Stone, and Wyatt Sandell. They will return for our final drive of Senior Showman. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still missing some of our buyback sheep. You have 10 minutes until 6:20, and then they need to get those things loaded out and that deal wrapped up. So they are missing some sheep that were signed up for the buyback program. If you plan to send your sheep on the truck, you have 10 minutes to get your market lamb to the southwest corner of the beef barn to the pen of sheep going on the truck. Entering the ring now is Heat 2 of our Senior Beef Showman. This is Heat number 2 of our Senior Beef Showman.
Another great heat to work through. I got a trio pulled over here that, to me, I think made the least mistakes in my opinion and kind of rose to the top. There's a couple out here that are on the edge of getting on the other side, but it just personal preference kept them on the rail. But give them a good round of applause if you would as they head back to the barn, and we'll excuse these three and bring the third heat in.
Congratulations to our 3 finalists out of Heat 2 that will return for our final drive. We have Austin Bamford, Charlie Rogers, and Corbin Lucero. Is that right? Entering the ring now is flight number 3 of our senior beef showmanship division. Entering the ring now is flight number 3 of our senior beef showmanship division. Attention all of our market hog exhibitors. If you have not yet moved your hogs to the northwest corner of the hog barn, we would ask that you do that so that we can get those market hogs consolidated. If you have not yet moved your sale qualifying market hogs to the northwest corner of the hog barn, we would ask that you please do that. Want to send a reminder through the barns to Tinley Vecker, Emery Chamberlain, Ella Rogers, and Piper Warren to remember that following the selection of our champion and reserve senior, we need the 4 of you to return to the show ring for our supreme and reserve supreme overall showman. So if we can have our champion reserve junior and our champion reserve senior return to the show ring following the selection of our champion senior, that would be appreciated.
Another great group to work through here in our final heat. Again, I kept a trio that happened to come in at the front end of this heat, and they kind of kept themselves at the top, in my opinion. And so we'll bring them back for the final heat. We've got a good set of showmen on down the rail that, again, a different day, a different judge could be on this side of the ring any day, so don't be discouraged by any stretch. These cattle are getting harder to handle, getting into the feeding hour, and so they're getting cantankerous, I know, so we want to get them through here and get them settled back in their beds. So give them a good round of applause. We'll get that final heat of seniors in here, if you would.
Congratulations to our finalists from heat number 3, Michael Maloshin, TJ Rice, and Leah Richardson. Entering the ring now is our final drive of our senior beef showman. Entering the ring now is our final drive of our senior beef showman. In addition to an award sponsored by the Colorado State Fair, these senior beef showmen are also showing for a $1,000 scholarship to Northeastern Junior College. The Northeastern Junior College Livestock Judging Team coach, Lindsay McPeak, is here with us today, along with her livestock judging team. Lindsay will be presenting the $1,000 scholarship to Northeastern Junior College to our champion senior beef showman. We appreciate Northeastern Junior College's continuous support of our junior market showmen here at the Colorado State Fair. They have actually sponsored these top showmanship honors in all 4 of our species for over 40 years. For over 40 years, folks. So Lindsay McPeak will be here to present our champion senior beef showman with a scholarship to Northeastern Junior College. As our judge is sorting through our final flight, our final drive of senior beef showman, we would like to reintroduce Mr. Shane Jennings from Danbury, Texas. Shane grew up raising crossbred cattle in 4-H and FFA in southern Texas. He received a bachelor's in animal science from Sam Houston State University and was on the livestock judging team there. Shane also coached the livestock judging team during grad school. He now resides in Danbury, Texas with his wife Jessie, son Connor, and daughter Cameron, and enjoys raising steers with his family and judging stock shows across the nation. Once again, thanks to Mr. Shane Jennings from Danbury, Texas for being here with us this evening and sorting through our beef showmanship. ladies and gentlemen, we need to move a few vehicles over on the southwest side of the beef barn. They are trying to load out market lambs. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a vehicle parked over on the southwest side of the beef barn, they are needing to get the semi in to load out the buyback market lambs. So if you have a vehicle parked over in the southwest part of the beef barn, they would ask that you move that vehicle so they can get the semi in and load out those market lambs. Here's the list of vehicles that are going to be loaded onto the semi. BTJ M42, it's a Ram. WUD 257, another Ram. Then we have an Oklahoma plate truck, HCM 612. Then we have a Denali 981 DEV. We've got a Ford ROK 739. We've got a GMC CCR H33. And we've got a Ford UYO 732. Those are the vehicles going to be loaded up on the semi with those sheep, unless you get them moved, folks. They'd ask you to get those vehicles moved.
As I said when I opened Showmanship, my wife and I always joke about it being our least favorite to judge Showmanship, and this is why. Because there's 9 or 10, I don't even know the number of kids out here that all could win this thing. And that's something to be proud of. That's gonna make me go home and lay in my hotel room tonight and scratch my head like, did I find the right one? Because there's gonna be a couple of them that are upset with me. That's okay, because that's quality and that's something to be proud of. I think we've got a good set all the way through, even down in the juniors. When we get back out here for our overall drive here in a moment, those juniors are going to be just as good, and that's something to be proud of as well. Excuse me. I think we've got a good set on the top end here. This pair, Showman, hit me hard. When they came in their heat, they just their presence, their style, the way they handle themselves, it just hit me very hard, very smooth in their transitions, very smooth as they hit the halter, as they place feet, as they set them, as they get them look, as they're looking at me. Everything is just a smooth transition for me, and that's what I like. This should be a good team. It shouldn't be one outshowing the other, and in my opinion, and that's what these two do for me. The young lady has done a great job. I love how she stands out there, right there at the base of that steer's nose, and she gets him parked out there and gets him looking good, gets him set. You know, when I talked to her about him, we had a good conversation about that steer and what we can do better about him, and what she'd like to see better about that calf. And I think that's a great place to start with our champion senior showman. Congratulate her with a round of applause, would you? Now this young man, he's one of those that's kind of the, I almost say the water moccasin. Those of you that might know what that is in this group, because he's going to sneak up and bite you. He don't just stand out. He's one of those that just real smooth again, just real easy going. I don't think he got much out of second gear, but this showman is real smooth. He hit every corner of the ring. He kept that calf relaxed and calm. He kept his head up. He kept him walked in the spot and set. And again, when we had a good conversation over on the rail, it's not easy to be a little after 6 o'clock with a fat steer with a gate open over there and show them. That's not an easy task. And so this young man rose himself up into the top pair. In this particular heat, just being good and complete and smooth. Congratulate him if you would. Next pair of showmen I thought were real good, and like this one here, he kind of gets worked up and wants to push her around a little bit. When she gets him commanded and stopped, there you go. He sees that gate open, he's ready to go. She had a harder time getting him settled, but when she did, she got him parked good, and that's a good showman. She's got that calf looking good. Congratulations to her. This ball-faced calf is one this young man presents really well. Again, he's one that just gives you a super sharp look from the side, and when he gets him set up, a great showman when he gets his feet planted. Again, very knowledgeable about that calf, and just a great showman in his own right. Again, he moved there at the end, and that allowed me to sort him out, but just real close in this top four. Congratulations. On down the line here, I'm not going to talk them all. It came down to some personal preferences as we sorted them. For me, you know, maybe they stuck out just a bit more. Wasn't quite as smooth in their transitions. Good showman, excellent set. Give them a good round of applause. We'll get a champion drive out here in a moment.
Congratulations to our senior showman, your grand champion senior showman, winning an award from the Colorado State Fair and a $1,000 scholarship from Northeastern Junior College is Tyla Thomas. Your reserve champion senior showman is Austin Bamford, the water moccasin as it was. Third overall is Shay Stone. Fourth overall is Jake King. Fifth overall is TJ Rice, and sixth overall is Wyatt Sandell. Congratulations to our top senior showman on an excellent job. At this time, we will welcome back to the ring our champion and reserve junior, champion and reserve intermediate, and champion and reserve senior showman for a supreme and reserve supreme overall beef showman. Entering the ring first is our champion junior showman, Tinley Becker. Congratulations, Tinley. Again, our champion junior showman, Tinley Becker. Entering the ring second is our champion intermediate showman, Ella Rogers. And third entering the ring is our champion senior showman, Tyler Thomas. Coming in behind them, we will have our reserve junior showman, Emery Chamberlain. Coming in next will be our reserve intermediate showman, Piper Warren. And entering the ring last as our reserve senior showman, Austin Bamford. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our 6 best showmen. Let's give them a nice round of applause for making our Supreme Showman Drive.
Well, if you would give our market beef showman a good round of applause, especially those that come out here for the final drive. There's showmen back in the barn, and hopefully some of them come back out here to watch this. That all are very worthy of being out here, and I know some of the quality of the cattle that I saw come through here. I think tomorrow you guys are going to have a fun day. I've been judging a few shows for about 15 years now, and I guess I'm on year 3 or 4 as a dad, and I tell you what, that makes the game completely different. And you know, my son got to come out here with me today, and he's feeding his 4th set of steers, and my little girl is 8, and she's got her first set. You know, it makes the game completely different when you're a dad. And I'll tell you, tomorrow when you guys are back there in the barn getting these things ready, you're in your corner getting ready for battle. I will tell you. You know, don't make your competitors your enemies. God calls us to be real competitive, and that's okay. He wants us to be that way. But understand that the people that are in this barn with you are just as much family as anybody. They're the ones that's going to offer their spare tire when you have a double blowout on the way home, or God forbid a tragedy hits your family. They're the one that's going to hug you. So don't forget that when you get into competitive nature. Don't forget that this is your family here as well. And so we are raising young people. The cattle and the livestock are just the vehicles to do that. And you can hear the cliche speech about how it's about the kids, it's about the kids. And you know, we could argue either way, is it about the kids? But I can tell you one thing it's about our future, and it's about their future. And we can sit here and say, well, these kids these days aren't like they were back 10 years ago. Well, that's not their fault. So remember that. They're watching us as parents, how we act, how we respond. Just remember that when you're getting ready for battle tomorrow, that don't make your competitors your enemies. So I think the showmen have been outstanding. It's been a pleasure being out here. There's a couple that just hit me hard when they came in. For your overall showman, the senior young lady, you're going to be our champion today. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Tyler. Congratulations to Tyler Thomas as our supreme overall market beef showman. And our reserve supreme showman comes out of our junior division, Tinley Becker. Congratulations to all of our market beef showman exhibitors. We will see you tomorrow for the market beef show.